Welcome back to Serious About Rugby League. So right now we are going to go into the betting odds for the 2020 Super League season. Paul, you're our betting guru here at Serious About Rugby League. Can you explain the odds to us for each team, please?
Yeah, obviously we're looking at the odds for Super League's main sponsors, Betfred, for next season. Obviously Saints and Wigan, both 3-1 favourites, which is quite surprising really that they've got Wigan, basically the same price as Saints to win the grand final. You'd pretty much think Saints would be standout favourites. And you've got Warrington at 4-1, Hull at 8-1. I think we've talked about Hull. I'm not too sure that they're four favourites for me. Castleford 10-1, same price as Leeds. I think the bookies at Betfred obviously expecting a bit more from Leeds next season. I think probably all are. You've got 16-1 for Catalans. I think we will expect, after they won the Challenge Cup last year, well in 2018, I think when the signing lights of Tompkins for last year, I think we were expecting a big improvement, and it looked for a while like it was going to happen, didn't it? But it towards the end of the season, they had a nightmare, didn't they? They just couldn't beat anybody.
I'm pretty shocked, seeing them at 16-1 for the odds for next year. I thought they would have been a little bit higher up in the odds, especially with the signing of James Maloney coming to the club.
Tremendous signing, yeah. So there's probably a bit of value, but I think obviously they've just never nailed this travel. They've never nailed it. I think a few players have spoke about it before. They've had so much time to get used to it. Even the players that have been there for 2 or 3 years, but they just seem to can't cope with playing in France one week and playing in England the next. Anyway, they're probably interesting one for everybody. We've talked about it before. Salford 33-1 to win the grand final. Obviously, with the massive overhaul of the squad this year. It's going to be interesting to see which way. I think people are going to be really split on Salford next year. Are they going to struggle? Because there was times they struggled last season, or are they the real deal? Castleford, Castleford pretty much came from nowhere to finish top, get to the grand final. They've been in the playoffs for the last 3 years now, Castleford. So they've made their mark and stayed where they are. But are Salford going to be like that? And then you get Wakefield 33-1, the same price as Salford, and you think, well, what on earth? How will Wakefield? What have they done to deserve being at that level? You turn that around to relegation, you pretty much say, well, that's what price they are for that. They'll be pretty much the same price to go down, which I think we'd be putting Wakefield a lot lower odds to get relegated and stuff. There's no odds for it at the minute, but obviously we just surmise it by turning these upside. And then obviously we've got the three outsiders: Huddersfield, Toronto, and Hull KR, all 50-1 to win the grand final. So there's plenty of value out there, and I think there's so much uncertainty for next season.
Yep, and Ben, what do you think about the odds?
Well, I think the biggest thing you can read from that is just how tight Super League is, because, I don't know if the bookies are a bit afraid, but Salford are 33-1. At the start of last season, they were 100-1. Now, Salford's squad at the start of next season, for me, is not as strong as it was at the start of this year. And when you look at the actual overall table, you're looking at everyone expected London to go down last year, albeit at the end they did. But now they're not there. Toronto are in. Toronto are going to win games, especially at home. So who is going to go down? Because there's so many teams in there, big teams who could get. Obviously, we've seen Leeds getting dragged into it. But I really fear for teams like Huddersfield, Hull KR are at risk. And I just feel for the top end. I agree with you. I think St Helens are favourites again, and I'd Wigan and Warrington behind. That's probably about right. For dark horses, I think the value. I like the look of Cass, especially with Richardson and Truman in the halves, but are their odds really big enough for you to take a punt on them? Probably not. So I'd say those odds would make sense to me, but again, like what you said, it'd be interesting when they get flipped around and see the relegation odds.
Well, last year London were 4-9 favourites, which, I basically put £9 on, you win £4, you get 13 back, which is massive favourites to get relegated. We're not going to have that this year. It's going to be really close. But then we're all debate about the salary cap. For me, I'm probably against the salary cap. But look at the odds. It basically got 3-1 the field, 3-1 the favourites. So if you look at something like the Premier League in football, you're not going to get 3-1 on Man City or Liverpool.
No.
So it really is wide open. And then you might have the uncertainty of the playoffs. But you've got, even just to finish top of the table, you've got Saints at 11-4, which I think is probably where the value lies. I think they're so far ahead last year. I can't see. The changes that I'm going to have to make in the other sides to catch Saints up. Okay, if Thompson and Walmsley go to the NRL, we might look at it a bit differently, but they're not going to come back to the field. Was it 16 points they won the league by?
Yeah.
They're not going to come back to the field that much, surely.
The only concern I have for Saints is how are they going to respond to Christian Wolf when he comes in to coach him?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, the squad hasn't really changed too much from the team that had won the Super League this year. But having a new coach that will want to try to put his own spin on little things, he probably won't change too much, but each coach still want to lay their own little platform and lay the law down to their players.
Yeah, that's fair. But for me, like I said, that squad is so strong. Yeah. I think we fancy going in there and still keeping up the status quo. It just. I do think there's a lot of value in Saints. I would say the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But this system does suit the team finishing top. But I think the real value at them to force Saints to finish top. Looking at some value outside, I mean, Castleford 16-1 to finish top again if Truman and Richardson click as half-back pair, possibly a little bit short in the forwards.
Yeah.
Wigan at 3-1. I think the problem with Wigan, they're 3-1 to win the grand final, you get 3-1 for the grand final or 3-1 for the League Leaders Shield for Wigan. I think probably more of a grand final team. I am quite excited about the signings they've made, but I think the prospects of Burgess might take time to settle. But yeah, it's really interesting. I just like how wide open it is.
Okay, definitely. All right. Just a question I asked both. If you were going to have a punt, who would you put the punt on?
To win the grand final?
To win the grand final or league leaders?
League leaders, I'd definitely stick with Saints again. Grand final, I'd go with Wigan.
Yeah. Paul?
I find it hard to disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, we've not mentioned Warrington at 4-1 to win the grand final, 7-2 to win the league. Not really for me. I like Wigan next year. I really do. I think towards the end of the season when the new signings gel, definitely, possibly looking for a bit of, maybe he's looking for a bit of value. Possibly Castleford 16-1 to win the league leaders. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, viewers, let's see what your thoughts are. Were you happy with the odds that have been given today? Today's odds have been supplied by Betfred, and just remember, viewers, gamble responsibly.